I just think as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. I skate for me because it makes me feel happy, it makes me feel confident.
That's why I loved downhill skating, I loved just the adrenaline that you felt zooming down the hill at 50, 60 miles an hour, and that was so fun. I loved that feeling.
I feel like it helps relieve stress and anxiety. I'm prone to both of those. I feel like it really, really helps.
Back then, when I would go to the skate park, I was the only girl, for sure. I remember one time seeing a girl and I was like, what? Like, who is this girl, you know?
Competing with men was always, kind of a part of my childhood growing up, and, I always got enjoyment out of beating some boys, probably more than out of beating girls.
I'm very competitive, and I'm not sure if that's because of growing up with a bunch of boys, but just always trying to keep up with them and try to outdo them. And
Skateboarding's a lot newer for women, and everyone gets mad at me for saying that. I got into a little Instagram fight the other day, and he's like, "Don't give me that women's right crap," and I'm like, I'm not. I'm just saying, women didn't feel like they could skate for whatever reason.
Skateboarding is like a constant metaphor for the rest of life.
Skateboarding is hard. It kind of prepares you for motherhood. To never give up, if you fall, get back up. It makes you know you can do hard things.
I think anything in life worthwhile isn't easy, and motherhood certainly isn't the exception there.
I do, though, kind of like surprising people. They see a mom pull up with her kids, and then I get out a skateboard and start going around. And
I think I was 8 when I got my first board, and I would go with my cousin to the skate park at 6 a.m. We'd go before everyone else got there so that we could, feel comfortable falling and learning.
When I was 8 or 9, my cousin came over with his friend and they were skateboarding, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I think it was that year I asked for a skateboard for Christmas.
I had an uncle who skateboarded. I remember seeing him and his friends skateboarding and just thinking it was so cool. I'm not sure if it's so much dedication anymore as obsessiveness. If I don't do it, I'm like, I need to skate.
In reality, most of my skate community is one that we've built. I would have so benefited from having a female at all growing up skating who could teach me. Anyone who would have been willing to hold my hand, right? But especially another woman, just because, women learn differently, our bodies are different. Men bend at their knees and women bend at their hips, for example. It's just certain things like that it would have been nice to have somebody else there.
So, our first date, I guess, was at the skate park.
Yep, and we're about the same.
Yeah, that
So it was good.
that was really surprising.
We were both surprised by each other's skills.
Okay, so his friend was distracting me in the grass right here. He was standing there in a tux, and he had a board that said, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah.
And then he came over to there, and I started walking towards him. I was like, "Who, me? You sure?"
I was so nervous.
He was shaking.
Yeah. Yeah, her name's Ollie.
Say hi.
We feel like it's perfect for us, It's super cute. When we were dating, I think just because Cassidy was so good, all of my friends loved having her around. We even skated with people that I grew up with, and it was just normal, When I was growing up, people brought their girlfriends to the skate park. They're like, "What is this guy doing?" But then I was able to bring my girlfriend to the skate park, and she was as good as I was.
Maybe it's because I grew up with all of my boy cousins, but I've always just kind of felt like I have to prove myself. If a guy's at the skate park, even if he's got a board and he's there, people just assume that he skates. But if a girl shows up and has a board, then I feel like they're more likely to be inclined to think that they don't really skate. And I feel like I can't try things without being judged, I guess, especially being a 40-year-old woman. Max is 12, so he'll be 13 in September. And been married for 19 years.
When Max got a skateboard for Christmas one year, him and his sister, they were all out skating, and I was just like, kind of felt left out. So I was like, I'll get my old skateboard back out again. And
I wanted to learn how to do tricks and to do things, so it just kind of went from there. And then it just quickly became an obsession.
We just found out that I'm 5 weeks pregnant, which was an awesome surprise. We've been trying for almost a year now, so it was exciting. Always, I remember seeing the stick and being like, oh my gosh, total disbelief, but yeah, we're thrilled. And this is the weird part of pregnancy where you can't feel them. There's nothing really different about your life. You just have a new piece of knowledge that has totally changed your world. Before I was able to make that decision with my husband, there was definitely a time of, okay, this is what that means for me, my personal life, my hobbies, my goals, and these things are all gonna change, and that's not bad, but acknowledging that life will be different. Certainly during pregnancy, there's obviously gonna be 9 months of skateboarding because of the danger with falling and things like that. And then afterwards, I think my biggest fear is life's just gonna be different. That am I still gonna be able to make that time for myself and do the things that I really wanna keep doing, and am I gonna be able to get them involved? I hope my kids want to, because that'll be way more fun.
Being a mom at the skate park is a little different. Not many people just bring their kids, but it's really fun with her. I actually have a little skateboard for her and a little scooter. When it's warm and she's having fun, it's a great time. The struggles are when it's freezing, she just wants to be held, or it's definitely, I have a lot of takes of her running and grabbing my camera and taking off with it. She's pretty wild, but we have a good time. It's quite the routine getting out of the car, unloading the stroller, putting her in it, getting her bag, getting my bag, getting her scooter, whatever toy I have for her that day. And then I skate in. I feel like people are just staring at me. People are generally really friendly towards Ollie and me at the skate park. I'll take Ollie to a park and other parents won't talk to us. But I take her to the skate park and everyone's like, oh, what's your daughter's name? And I tell them it's Ollie and they freak out. Yeah, they're nice, they like her, mostly. As long as I, keep her out of their way.
When I was in high school, we got into longboarding, kind of came onto the scene, and that's what I did. And I actually got into downhill racing. I kind of stumbled into it and had a knack for it, loved it. I was the only girl competing with all of these guys who had at least 30 pounds on me as a young 17-year-old. And my strategy was always to be right behind the fastest leader in the group, and as long as I stayed right behind him, I would draft just long enough, and right before the finish line I would shoot out in front of him, having more speed because I was drafting, and that's how I would win every race. It was fun. It was fun to compete against the boys, and now in a career in sales, I feel like I'm still doing the same thing.
yeah, we come here every day. We try to be here. We just try to get here around 7:30, between 7:30 and 8, and then we stay until 9. So we try to get a good hour, hour and a half in the morning. The park is so crazy later in the day, and Max is kind of an introvert like me, and so being here with lots of people is kind of scary. It's not fun. It's not fun for me to be here when there's lots of people.
It doesn't solve things, but it helps improve your mental state, I feel.
Pushing to keep getting better is a big part of it too. I do feel a bond with him that I'm sure has come from spending this time together. So I don't know, I kind of feel like you can get away from life for a little while and just, I don't know, just be in the moment while you're learning something, and you can still be having all these, thinking about things, but keeping your body in motion while doing it. He has a lot of anxiety and stuff as well, so it really helps him before he goes and has to sit at school for 6 hours a day to get some activity in the morning, and hopefully it'll help him continue his whole life to always be active and use it as a way to cope with things.
I think skateboard gave me a lot of confidence. It made me feel like I can do things. If I can get up over and over after falling and still land that trick, then I can do anything, you know? I set skating goals all the time, and once I hit them, nothing feels better.
Overcoming a fear of doing a big rail or something like that, it just makes you a stronger person. When I was pregnant with Ollie, it makes you know you can do hard things.
Nice. Kickflip 9 months pregnant. So crazy.
All right, this is how you do it, baby girl. Lean forward.
Go. How's that feel, little baby?
She loves it.
Yeah, you got it. Nice, nice. Woo!
Last February, I decided to put a lot more effort in and just see what I could really do with it. Because every time I'd go to the skate park, I could just do the same things. It was like not very often, so I didn't get better at tricks. I just relearned the tricks I already knew. So yeah, I started posting on Instagram every day and just tracking my progress. It's really cool to see the progression, so I've had a great time with it.
I've kind of like stepped back because Cassidy has this goal and I like want to see her achieve that, you know? Most of the time I'll skate for like 30 minutes while Ollie's distracted. And then once she's just done, then we go sit in the car, we go to the park. Well, she's better than me, so I have to be supportive.
Oh, this sucks not being able to do this. It's genuinely the worst. It's just a different phase where I can help other people progress in their skateboarding, and that's kind of where I can find my fulfillment in it. And hopefully, as soon as that baby's out, I can take turns on the sidelines breastfeeding and hop right back into the bowl, you know?
Caroline, do it from here right now, please. Okay.
Count it.
I really only started my Instagram to track my progress because when I post a video every day, when I'm pushing myself to land a trick so I can have something to post, it just makes me commit more. It's been surprising how much support I've gotten from it and what's become of it. A lot of people have reached out to me telling me that they're grateful to see me trying and everything as much as I do because it inspires them to go skate as well, which is cool for me to hear. Sometimes certain haters will like hurt my heart a little bit, but then luckily I have a really nice husband who tells me that I'm good. so it's helpful. I think the most hate I get is about wearing leggings to skate in. Like I get people commenting all the time like, why don't you ever wear jeans? I'm like, I'm not gonna go play tennis in jeans, why would I go skate in jeans, you know? I get a lot of people saying that, oh, well, I'm better than you, like why don't you have the same, like why do you have so many followers and stuff? And I'm just like, well, I do have a little bit of background in understanding Instagram. Like if you post consistently and you're just being truly yourself and people support me and it's great. I don't know why. You don't have to bring negativity just because you're jealous, you know, or whatever.
When I first started my Instagram for skateboarding, I started coming here a lot, just like by myself. And I would come in the morning so that it wouldn't be busy, and I saw Max and Jen here a few times, and I would always come right as they were leaving, but I didn't know that was just like he was going to school. So I was like, oh, they don't want to talk to me, they just want to leave. They were kind of close by and they were like cheering me on, and that's the day that I like went and talked to her and like introduced myself, and
We just hit it off, and we skate quite often together now, so.
that summer we skated together almost every day, and like being a mom has definitely given us something more to talk about. There's not a lot of parents that are skateboarding that I know of, at least. Like if there's guys at the skate park with kids, it's not like the first thing you talk about.
I fell and broke my arm. I was trying to do a disaster and I ended in a disaster. Somebody ran into me, they hit me with their elbow when I was at an indoor park. Right here, that's why I've got a dent right here on the side of my nose. Just this morning, I sprained my finger. When we were at the skate park this morning, it's all swollen. It's definitely, after I broke my wrist, it was terrifying to skate again. But I actually skated for like an hour after I broke it because I didn't know it was broken.
Honestly, most of my injuries have been bruises, bumps, scrapes. I have had so much road rash in my life, but fortunately haven't broken anything. And I'm a really big advocate for helmets, so never had any head injuries either.
I've actually been really lucky with injuries. Like, I haven't had anything crazy happen, knock on wood, if there's wood. I've had like lots of like crazy looking falls, but then it wasn't as bad as it looked, you know? Like there's this one that looks like I did a scorpion. It looks like I really like smashed my face, but I like turned it just right to roll out of it. And so I was able to get up and do the trick again, you know?
When I was like 6 or something, I was trying to ollie over the pyramid, and then I ollied over it, and then like my back wheel got hit a crack, and then I fell and landed on my chin. I usually have to do it if I fall on doing something and I get hurt. I'll usually have to do it like right after, or it's gonna be scary if I don't do it, because then the next day I'll be scared because I think that's gonna happen.
It'll take me years sometimes to get a trick, to learn it, and I guess just being patient. You have to be patient with your kids. The hardest part about being a mom, I would think, is seeing your kids feeling down or making choices that you don't agree with, and you know are going to cause them trouble or pain, and you can't. At the same time, you need to let them make those choices so that they can learn. But so it's hard. It's hard to see them hurt or anything, especially skating. Watching Max go down an 8 set of stairs is. But at the same time, I'm like, yes, you can do it. So I guess that's also the best part, is seeing them succeed or seeing them take your advice, or when they learn something, or when they come to you and say, thank you for teaching me this, or you were right. Seeing them succeed is definitely the best.
We have been really excited about our pregnancy, and we were about 6 weeks along when one night I started experiencing a lot of cramping and pain and some bleeding, and we worried. Of course you worry about the possibility of miscarriage, but I didn't actually think that that's what it would be. So the next day I called my OB, and he was a little worried, so he had me come in for an ultrasound, and there wasn't anything there. We went to get our blood drawn, and it was while I was there that I went to the bathroom and actually experienced the miscarriage. That was the hardest moment of all of it, was this is again getting more graphic, but you wipe and look at it and you know that that's what it is, and you're staring at it sobbing, obviously, and it just feels so wrong to just flush it down the toilet. Because you'd grown so attached to it. I already loved him or her so much. And so that was the part that felt just hellish, was saying goodbye in the bathroom, which just doesn't seem right. The days following were hard and long, and I woke up the next day and it just felt empty. I could tell that they weren't there anymore. I was waking up alone instead of excited, how you kind of feel. And anyways, it was really hard. I'm grateful that I've had skateboarding as a way of therapy, of a passion I can follow, of a pursuit that takes me to higher heights, that brings me closer to an awesome community. All of the crazy blessings that come from skateboarding I love, and I attribute all of that to God, and I'm grateful you know, he's given me this ability or these passions for things like this. And I just know that he's who's supporting me in this loss like most at the end of the day.
So my middle name is actually Kulia. I was born in Hawaii, and my mom gave me that name because it's a Hawaiian word that means reach for the pinnacle or never give up. It's from a phrase that one of the Hawaiian queens actually used to, that was like her motto. And it was perfect for this camp because I wanted this to be something that helped people strive, help people climb their mountains and accomplish their goals no matter how far away or how hard they seemed. And so it was the perfect name for this group because that's really what we're trying to do. So when I actually got down to starting Camp Kulia, it was years after I'd thought of the idea, and it was actually my husband Brandon who was the most encouraging. He knew that this was a dream of mine, he knew it was something that I wanted to do, and he was finally the one who was like, Dan, just pick a date. Just pick a date and we're gonna do it. Last fall, that's when we did our first one, and we weren't sure what to expect, how many people would be there, but there were 25 girls that showed up. It was such a blast. I mean, we had everyone from ages 6 up to, 28. And, we had prizes from local people sponsoring. I actually put my own money into buying decks and, fun things that I could give away from the local shop. I would love to see it grow into something much bigger than just skateboarding. It's much more about creating an environment where these girls can work through struggles that they're having, gain a new group of friends, and get some of the skills that they need to, learn some of these lessons that really I feel like are learned best through skateboarding. One of the major goals of Camp Kulia is to create a community in the skateboarding world that's really accepting of other people, regardless of their race or gender or age. I want to create an environment where everyone helps other people. And in some places that's natural, depending on your skate park, right? Like some places they've done that. I hope that we can keep breeding people who will be that way no matter where they live.
And so it's been super nice to see women all over the world doing it.
Getting support from people online or just other things, and then finding a group of girls that skate has really helped push me as well.
When you have a community that supports you as you fall down, and that community spreads outside of just this activity, right? You have a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging, and women naturally want to provide that for each other. None of us do it alone. We all need somebody else.
There was a little girl once with her mom. They were waiting for the bus and she came down and she stood there and was watching me and she was like, Mom, there's a girl skateboarding. I could do that. I could totally do that. And that was cool for me to hear that, other girls can look at me as an example, I guess. As just because you're a mom or just because you're older, or you can still do anything you want.
There is a different level between the guys and the girls for sure, but they're gonna get there. We're catching up.
I hope that the world that my kids grow up in, particularly my daughters, is one that's inclusive, kind. So I hope that for my kids, it keeps being like that, and that they're the people that make it that way for others. different time that I think is only getting better.